50 Cent says black men are identifying with Trump over Biden. And I would agree. That's the sentiment. You go to the hood, you talk to black men, and you'll see that the majority of us are for Trump. Because we recognize what's going on right now in this country and how everything went far left and how they're destroying this country and the economy is terrible. So we're gonna talk a little bit about that. But before we get started, go to hit that like button, share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon. That's where I talk about things that I can't talk about here. All right, so let's talk about this news. Now, this comes from NTD.com, and from Lawrence Duchamps. And he reports that rapper Curtis Jackson, once one of hip hop's biggest names, believe black voters are more likely to identify with former President Donald Trump than President Joe Biden in the wake of his unprecedented conviction. The 48-year-old Grammy Award-winning artist, better known as 50 Cent, made the remarks on Capitol Hill on June 5th, where he met with lawmakers and the Congressional Black Caucus to advocate for black entrepreneurship and minority representation in the liquor industry. You know, he's suing some liquor companies. But Mr. Jackson, who predicted in a March 26 post on social media platform X that President Trump would win in November, was asked by a CBS News congressional correspondent whether he had already decided who he would support in the upcoming presidential election. The Queens-born rap mogul responded that he had not decided yet. The reporter followed up by asking him about the significance of African-American men voting this election cycle. He said, quote, "I see them identifying with Trump because they've got RICO, or racketeer influence and corruption organization charges too," he said. That's what I've been saying from the beginning. All them using lawfare against Trump is just boosting his popularity. But last summer, Fulton County District Attorney Fannie Willis charged President Trump under Georgia's RICO Act for his efforts to challenge the 2020 presidential election results. However, the Georgia Court of Appeals agreed on June 5th to pause all court proceedings in Ms. Willis's case against the former commander-in-chief and 8 co-defendants as they review whether the district attorney should be disqualified. And Democrats are pissed at her because they saying she should have stepped aside instead of letting this happen. But anyway, earlier this year, one of the defendants moved to disqualify Ms. Willis, alleging a conflict of interest and financial misconduct, and co-defendants joined with additional allegations of prosecutorial misconduct. The state's Court of Appeals is scheduled to hear argument on October 4th, making it unlikely that the case will go to trial before the November presidential election. So the people will decide this case, really. This wasn't the first time Mr. Jackson stepped into the political arena. He's not shy. He's not shy at all with speaking his mind. But in October 2020, he criticized President Biden's proposed tax plan, stating in a post on Instagram to vote for Trump. In the post, he initially seemed to endorse President Trump, but recant his support several days later in a post on X, writing that he never liked the former president. Mr. Jackson endorsed Hillary Clinton in 2016. He just recently had the Capitol Hill visit. During his visit to Capitol Hill on January 5th, Mr. Jackson met with both Democrat and Republican leadership. He shared photos of himself with several members of Congress, including Speaker Mike Johnson, who's a Republican, former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, who's a Democrat, and Rep. Lauren Boebert, who's a Republican, and Rep. Troy Carter, who's a Democrat. So he's on both sides of the aisle with this. Quote, Lauren Boebert making the White House look good, he wrote on X, showing him standing next to the Republican. Ms. Boebert also shared a photo of herself and Mr. Jackson on X, on her own X account. Quote, I still love you if you flip burgers at Burger King, she wrote. That's one of his verses. at 50 Cent. I used to do that myself. Thanks for the photo. Great to meet you. Civil rights attorney Ben Crump accompanied Mr. Jackson to the U.S. Capitol, whom he described in a statement ahead of the visit as, quote, one of the most successful black entrepreneurs in the United States. And I totally agree with that. I mean, 50 Cent, his marketing skills is unbelievable. I mean, he has his own production company. I mean, he's done so much as far as entrepreneurship. He had his own water, which he sold for a lot of money, and alcohol and clothing and all types of stuff. He dabbled in a lot of stuff. And right now, his biggest investment is his entertainment business. But, quote, Mr. Jackson's journey has been a testament to how much a determined individual can succeed through hard work and vision, and yet he still must contend with the oppression that comes with being a minority business owner, Mr. Crump said. And that's pertaining to his court cases he got against these liquor companies. But he's speaking out. A lot of black men are speaking out and telling the truth and standing up on tradition and standing up for family. That's why a lot of us are for President Trump. But let me know what you think about this. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe. And check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.